panel is Dr. Anjali Mukerjee. Anjali is one of the most famous well-known names on nutrition, and she's got a whole chain of nutritional clinics. Please welcome Dr. Anjali Mukerjee.
A very good afternoon to all of you. It is really an honor to be standing in front of such a distinguished audience. I want to thank Hindustan Times for inviting me here. So today I'll be talking about the most pressing public health problem, overweight and obesity. So I'll just tell you a bit, share a bit about what I've been doing. I have been watching overweight people become slim almost since the past 3 decades. And I've noticed a couple of interesting things. I've noticed that most people are on a seafood diet. They see food and they want to eat it. They're not really hungry. Overeating has become a national pastime. Another interesting thing I've seen is that most people are not happy with their weight. Are you happy with your weight? How many people are happy with your weight? That's very few, so that's why we're all here. So yet, even if they're not happy with their weight, they would go ahead and order a double cheeseburger, large fries, and a diet soda. It probably makes them feel less guilty somewhere. So the transition from a starving world into an obese one is happening with tremendous speed. There are more people who are dying of eating too much food than too little. This is because overweight is associated with a whole lot of terrible health consequences like heart attack, stroke, cancer, high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, basically premature death. Being obese is like committing slow suicide. And as if all this was not enough, studies now show that it's not only important how much you weigh, but where that fat is located. Most Indians tend to store fat around their belly region, which is called visceral fat. And this kind of fat is known to be more harmful than subcutaneous fat, which is fat beneath the skin, because it precipitates type 2 diabetes and heart disease at a much lower weight, which means that if you are 7 to 8 kgs overweight, and if most of that weight is around your face, your neck, your chest, your arms, your legs, then you may look cosmetically overweight, but it's not going to bother you medically. However, if the same 7 to 8 kgs is located around your abdominal region, then it has more dangerous implications on your health. So, how do we deal with this? What are the action points? Food prices can be used to tilt people's choices towards healthier options by applying taxations and subsidies appropriately. For instance, is it possible to increase tax on most junk foods? Is it possible to restrict junk food ads? Make food labeling more clear. Make fresh fruits and vegetables more affordable to the masses. Make whole pulses and whole grains more affordable to the masses so that people can eat more of it. These foods are basically rich in fiber. An increased fiber intake helps to reduce the risk of obesity. The reversing of the obesity epidemic requires that we go back to our traditional diets. For example, the world now recognizes the health benefits of homemade ghee. It raises good cholesterol. Of rice bran oil, it contains oryzanol. It lowers total cholesterol. Of alsi seeds, good for blood thinning. Of haldi, excellent painkiller, anti-inflammatory, good for arthritic patients. Eating sabji roti is good for weight management. Especially the rotis made of our traditional attas like jawar, bajri, nachni. Our desi dal has a very low glycemic index, less than 30. Excellent for weight management. A special request to parents. Parents have a crucial role in preventing the obesity epidemic in India. They need to check the food that they give to their children right from a young age. They need to guide the children to do some form of physical activity right from a young age. Schools should ensure that there is healthy food available in the school canteens so that our children can learn to make healthy choices in their formative years. And at least 40 minutes of physical activity should be made compulsory in all schools for all students to prevent childhood obesity. Above all, we need to take personal responsibility towards our weight and health. We choose the food that we put into our mouth. So make healthy choices. Parents who don't eat vegetables should not be surprised if the children don't eat vegetables. You know, a doctor once told an overweight client that I'm going to give you 100 pills to make you lose weight. So the client said, 100 pills? So the doctor said, you don't have to swallow them. Just spill them on the floor twice a day and pick them up one at a time. So the good news is that obesity is preventable. Friends, I'm not alone in my concern that obesity and consequently heart disease and diabetes are a growing national as well as global crisis. I want to leave you with just one important thought, and that is our big problem is not just obesity, but central obesity and the consequence of being even slightly overweight. According to the WHO, globally, the recommended waist circumference for men, if they wish to be healthy, is that it should not be more than 40 inches. And for women, is that it should not be more than 35 inches. But for Indians, as we are more genetically prone to heart disease and diabetes, at a much lower weight, the recommended waist circumference for Indian men, hold your breath,
34.
Is that it should not be more than 35 inches. And for Indian women, if they wish to stay healthy, is not more than 32 inches. The problem is not only that diabetes and heart disease runs in your families, the problem is no one runs in your families. I sincerely hope that more and more people become open to the theory that eating right, not following a diet, eating right, and doing a bit of exercise is the most economical way to manage obesity and its related diseases. Food, like your money, should be working for you and giving you good health and not those extra kilos. Thank you.